Good afternoon, good morning if it's your morning, good evening if it's your evening. You're over 40 and you want to know, is it still worth starting a business? I'm over 50. I'm actually 57. And yes, definitely, always. So, first, let's look at why you're thinking about this. It could be that you've got no retirement plan. That's what I've got. No retirement plan. Well, I always thought that by now I would have got remarried. I thought that I would re-established my career. I thought that I would have basically sorted myself out by now. But unfortunately, that's not happened. Another circumstance that you might have, maybe your children have left home and you've got nothing as much to do that is feeling valued. It's very, very common for women of my age, believe me, 40 and above even, that you have spent all of your life being that person's number one. They've come to you when they're angry, when they're upset, when things are going right. They get all excited and you're the first person that they think of to tell about it. And now you're not anymore. They've left home, they've got married, maybe even just in a relationship or in another country, but you're no longer that primary focus for them. Another reason could be because you've maybe split with your partner after X number of years, and now you're needing to re-establish your own identity. And I totally get that too. All of these circumstances mean that you are sat there thinking, what do I do now? Well, I suggest you get out there and you start yourself a business. It's a lot easier than you think, and surprisingly, a lot cheaper than you think too. So, my business is 3D printing, and I would recommend that 100%, of course, because I'm a 3D printer, but it's my hobby. I got into 3D printing because I bought a couple of items off of TikTok, of all places, for my grandchildren. And they loved them, absolutely loved them. And I thought to myself, well, how am I going to be able to sustain this sort of purchasing with my income? Because I saw so many things that I just loved. So I bought myself a 3D printer and I was immediately hooked, absolutely immediately hooked. So I think if you enjoy the thing that you actually make into your business, that comes through and shines through with your products and how you sell them too, because you are enthusiastic and you are not getting up and just doing the mundane job. And of course, when you're self-employed and you do the business yourself, you're not working at a price per hour. You are working for free most of the time until some income comes in. Okay, so I'm just going to pause for a moment because my print's finished. So, having established why you want to start your new business, maybe we should establish where or how you're going to do this business. Well, first of all, of course, you need to work out what you're going to do. And a lot of that will come with research, with thoughts about your own circumstances and what you've been doing over the last few years. I personally would look at things around your home and think about how you achieved them or how you got them. Because largely, especially if you are a home grower, as in you've had children and you've been doing things around the house, whether it's through DIY or making things look nice, you will have skills that you don't even realize you've got. You may have skills of organization. Well, that gives a lot of skill. Yeah, believe me. You may have the skills of management. You've managed kids. You're a manager. You may have skills of being able to be empathetic with people and maybe go into something like therapy. Um, I'm not talking physical therapy, talking mental therapies. So there's all sorts of things that you actually have in your life that you maybe haven't even realized that you do already. Well, that's where I would start. That's where I would start. Now, of course, if you've already got things in your history that you've been able to do as a career, then starting that out again or starting it out on your own is always a good idea. I love being self-employed because I don't have to worry about a boss. I don't have to worry about colleagues. I don't have to worry about going to work because I work from home. And with a lot of people, that is a bonus and a plus. So it could be that you are doing a part-time job. It could be you're still doing your full-time job. Whatever it is you're doing to make your income now, keep that income going while you establish your new business. Because although your new business, it could be the most amazing business ever, it will take time to establish. So you need time, and to give yourself time and not be, oh my God, this is going to work, this is going to work, which will put you into a spiral of never being able to get it off the ground. Then you need to be able to sustain yourself, or to keep yourself while you're starting or establishing your business. So, does it cost much to start a new business? It depends on what your business is going to be. For me, my 3D printing business started with a £150 bamboo mini A1, A1 mini, and some filament. And basically, you just need to be strong enough at that point to make things, sell them, and then invest that money back into your business. If you're not strong enough, and I had some spare money at the time, within 3 weeks, I'd bought a second printer. And then within a couple of months, I bought a third. And now I have 5. You build it up, and if you doing this slowly and it's self-sustainable, then that is fantastic. And if you put everything back into the business, it will soon grow. It will definitely soon grow. If, like me, you find that you need to do a change of direction, you're still at that point whereby you can do that. Yes, when you're in the first throes of your business, don't feel that you're stuck in that place. You can change how you want it to be, because you are flexible. You haven't got a boss. You haven't got other people to worry about, just yourself. So if you need to change a direction, do it. Don't worry about it. Just do it. Yeah. Now, I personally prefer to sell because my history is in selling, but it's also in customer service, hence why I'm on here. Because although I am very good at selling, unfortunately, my anxiety means that I'm not very good at personal one-to-one at the moment. And this has been like this for about 12, 13 years now, since I was a manager in a jeweler's shop. So it's basically a case of giving yourself room to breathe and finding ways to adapt to yourself. It's a really good idea if you're disabled in any way, or as I call myself, mentally challenged. It's a really good idea to write down what you can do rather than what you can't do, because that feeling of self-worth and being able to achieve only comes from positivity. It doesn't come from being negative. So, okay, you can write down a few physical challenges, such as not being able to go to a particular sale room because they don't have disabled access, for example. Well, find another one that does. There will be another one that does. So it's just a case of maneuvering to your strengths rather than worrying about your weaknesses. Yeah. I started by printing things that my grandsons enjoyed. Now, my grandsons now are 5 and 8. Okay, so they're still at the young age that they can tell me what they like, but they can still play with things that, if they broke, because they are boys, for goodness sake, if they broke, they're not going to be choking on anything. They're not going to be they're not under 3. Yeah. So I strength test things myself, but just letting my grandsons play with things really, really does challenge things, I tell you. They have school friends, and they have school friends and school parents. Okay, now, of course, my anxiety means that I can't go and just fraternize with the parents, but I can do other things subtly. For example, end of school year, yeah? I gave them enough little toy fidgets to be able to give to every parent in their classes for each of the children. So they're in different years, and they gave them out at the end of the year. They became very, very popular, which is great. But also, people were asking, where'd you get these? Where'd you get these? My nanny made it. Yeah. Now, if you're going to do this, I would suggest giving out business cards at the same time, because obviously, if you put it in a packet with little envelope with a business card, and they happen to pass this business card on, that's great. Kids don't always do that. We know this, but you might find just 1 or 2 get through. Business cards is a huge thing. Don't have to be very big either. So you could even 3D print them, for an example. I say this because I've always done businesses with business cards before. This time I haven't, and I've really noticed the difference. So yes, getting your name out there, getting your number out there, getting your website out there, getting your YouTube out there. Whatever business you decide to go into, you need to be able to promote it. Wherever I go, I try and have something on me so that I can say, oh, yes, well, I 3D printed it. Did you want one? I can sort one out for you. Yeah. I had one lady who, when I went to pay for my petrol, I had a pay star. And what it is it's a star, and it has your card inside, and you just pay with it. You just put it on the thing, and it does the contactless through it, and it's great fun. And I was making a YouTube video on it. The lady behind the counter said, oh, where did you get that? A couple of days later, I dropped one off for her. And so little things like that do help you to get your name out there, and help you to, it's word of mouth, isn't it? And it's surprising how quickly it grows, as long as people know how to get back in touch. Okay. Another thing that I did was at the end of the school year, for my grandsons, I made a nameplate for the teacher. And I made it fairly big. It was only about that size, yeah. And it was about this thick, and it basically said their name, so that they could stand it on the table and everybody would know who they are, or they could take it home, whatever they wanted to do, basically. And next time I went and picked up my grandsons from school, I don't always manage to go in. There's another mum that grabs them for me, which is great. But on this particular occasion, I felt quite empowered, and I went in, and she came to the door, the teacher, and she said, was it you that 3D printed that name for me? I said, yeah, that's right. She came and gave me a hug. That was so nice. So I said to her, let me know if anybody else wants one. Of course, just a hug. I want more. And the whole thing about this is, you cannot find out if you are going to find your business is worth it until you try. You need to get yourself actually doing something. For example, apparently there's only about 2% of people on YouTube who actually post videos. Yeah? Well, I'm part of that 2% now, because I started doing this, and I know, I know that I can be monetized at some point, and I really want to be. So this is something that you need to do. You need to encourage yourself. You need to give yourself credit where credit is due. Don't just listen to your friends. Don't just listen to your partner. Give yourself the pep talk, because you are the one that will benefit. Do your research. Check out the competition, see who else is out there. Go to local fairs, see if they are selling what you're selling. And if so, it gives you a little bit of it gives you something to do, gives you somewhere to go to see similar items that you would love to sell or promote, or it might be a furniture a furniture recycling business. Whatever you want to do, go check out the competition. That will also give you price points. Because if you are planning on coming in at those price points or similar, then that's great. If you're planning on coming in higher than those price points, make sure your things are better. Make sure your ones are the ones that people are going to want to buy. For example, if you notice that somebody in the competition doesn't finish off the edges right, and doesn't leave that pristine look, but you know you can, then that's how you want to do it. Even if it's the same price point, they're going to come back to you rather than going back to them. If they see your items, they're going to go, wow, I really like that one. I'm not sure about that one over there. Yeah, so that will give you the edge. I tried before Christmas to sell on TikTok. I went through the process of having my items approved, and I set them up on TikTok. And with my anxiety, I do a lot of procrastination. And even though I knew I wasn't going to be meeting these people and I wasn't going to be interacting with these people properly, I still had a massive how can I put it? A massive cloud in front of me, between me and the computer, over actually posting items, actually promoting the items. And I found it very, very difficult and so stressful. Where I had thought that by producing a lot of items and then having them available for sale, I would have no problem whatsoever. It's not like doing a sale at a car boot or a flea market, or actually having a shop. It's not the same. TikTok takes time as well to build, but you do need items for sale. But what TikTok do is they give you so many incentives to get your sales going in the beginning. You get sort of overwhelmed that you're supposed to be going at that pace. But I don't think that's necessarily so. I started pushing myself to do lives, because I'd seen other people doing 3D printing, had also done lives, and it was a live that I'd made my first purchase at. And so I was thinking, well, that's interaction, but I can do it. Can I do it? Well, I tried. I tried a few times, and unfortunately, on this particular instance, I was not successful. Since being on here, because you've seen, hopefully, if you've seen some other videos of mine, you will have seen I've had my favorite prints. I've had my I've shown you how I make things, and I've sort of gone through things that in a way that is different to how I did it on TikTok, and it's giving me more confidence. And I believe that when I decide to take up TikTok again, I will be able to do that. However, I'm not ready to do that yet, and I'm not pushing myself to do it. That doesn't mean that that's the only way to go about it. There are other ways. There's Etsy, there's there's all sorts of other markets out there. I'm sure you have your own markets in your own countries, and there are ways of getting yourself out there. But at the end of the day, is it worth starting a business when you're over 40? Yes. It might not be the first business you start. It might not be the first successful business that you have, but you have to try. If you don't get out there and you don't make that decision to start, you're never going to know if you can do it. So that's what you need to do. You need to think about it today, think about it right now, and do a little brainstorming session, either with yourself or with friends or with a partner, somebody you trust, somebody who you don't think is going to take your idea and run with it before you do. But do try, because I know that you can do it. You can. Thank you for listening, and I hope it works out for you. Please like and share and subscribe as well.